Welcome to another week of Cap Chat. I'm Cody Lefcoats, the voice of your Capitals, and we have a special treat here today. Head coach Tom Upton. Tom, how's it going over there?
Not too bad, Cody. Just trying to sift through these last couple weeks of the summer before the boys get here.
And so that's sort of a big thing was they were supposed to report beginning of September this week, honestly. And then with the league postponing to a November start date, you guys also got postponed to an October start date. How does that adjust for you? What have you guys done to adjust? And how does that change what the roster may look like?
Yeah, you know what? It right now it hasn't affected the roster as much. The only thing we really had to adjust is obviously just when we're starting and probably a lot of our communication with the guys and with our billet families and when they can expect them to be in here and things like that. And at the end of the day, not a lot changes. It's just everything's been pushed back by 4 weeks. We'll still do things the same. We'll still go through everything the same way. It's just we're going to do it 4 weeks later, which, looking around the sports world and different leagues and different, levels of hockey and all sports, to only be delayed 4 weeks isn't bad in my eyes. I was very proud and happy that the league came out with some hard dates. And I knew that they wouldn't have done that unless those were very confident dates on their part. And so now it's nice to know exactly when we're going to start. Would I love to be practicing right now? Absolutely. But, 4 weeks delay isn't too big of a deal.
And for those that haven't seen, November 6th is the new start date. That's looking in the future. Let's look in the past. Let's look into your past, Tommy. We want to know, your upbringing, where you came from, what you did to really get to this point, and all the steps in between.
Yeah. Holy cow. It's a lot. So I grew up in both my parents are from New York City. My dad's from Queens. My mom's from Brooklyn. They both grew up there. Very blue collar people from blue collared families. When we were little kids, my dad actually worked two jobs. He worked a regular business job during the day, and then he worked at the New York Times at night. So, from a young age, learned a lot about hard work and that blue collar mentality. And my mom's a very fiery, very passionate Italian woman from Brooklyn. So I think that's where I probably get a lot of my fire and intensity from. So we did that when I was 10 years old. We moved to Austin, Texas for my dad's job. Obviously, that was his chance to step away from working nights at New York Times. So that was kind of nice for him. And then grew up in Austin, the rest of my life. My parents and my brothers still live down there. And started my junior career when I was a senior in high school. Played 4 years in the North American League. Ended up going to Wisconsin Stevens Point D3 school, just an hour and a half north of Madison here. Had a blast there. Learned a lot as a person, learned a lot as an athlete. And then after we got knocked out of playoffs my senior year, there was about 2 weeks left in the pro season. So I went down and I played those last 2 weeks with the SPHL pro team, the Columbus Cottonmouths at the time. There was I think it was 5 games left in the regular season. So I went down and played those last 5 games with them. And then that summer I went back to Point and I was taking classes and living with a couple of the guys and working out and trying to get ready for the upcoming hockey season to play. And our current assistant coach, Anthony Noreen, who is now the head coach in Tri-City in our league. Anthony was our assistant. Will Nickel, who's now with the Vegas Golden Knights, Will's a Madison guy. Will was our head coach. Anthony, that summer that I was back in Point training, Anthony got the assistant job in Youngstown. So that kind of started him off on his career in the USHL. And, I was a captain for Will. I had a great relationship with him. I was in town already, getting ready for the hockey season the next year. And, Will approached me with the idea to get into coaching and stay at Point instead of going to play and be his assistant coach right away. And that's when I made that decision that summer to get into coaching. So obviously coached at Stevens Point for the next 3 under Will. Coached 2 years with Chris Brooks, who incredible person, incredible hockey mind, learned a ton from him, and then was able to go to Cedar Rapids as an assistant coach and learn under Mark Carlson for about a year and a half it was. And then I had a chance to become a head coach and GM in the North American Hockey League with the Minnesota Magicians, and went ahead and did that. Really wanted to get that head coaching experience on my resume for the future, more so. And then after that experience, ended up going back to the USHL as an assistant with Youngstown, and then 3 years at Mercyhurst as a Division I assistant coach. And when this job opened up and Andrew and I spoke, I thought it was the right time and the right opportunity for me and my family to take this kind of next step in my career. And to be honest with you, this league, in my eyes, I love this league, and a chance to coach in this league again, but a chance to do it in the capacity as a head coach and general manager of a team was something I couldn't pass up. For me and my family, and for my goals and what I'd like to do as a coach here in my career. So that's how I ended up here. There's a lot more ins and outs than just that, but that's kind of the gist of it, I would say.
Lot of stops. It's only been, I think, 10 years for you coaching, and you've been with, this is your 6th team now, I believe, from what you said. So a lot of experience.
Yeah.
A lot of experience. You've worked with a lot of different coaches, a lot of different coaching styles. So I guess on that, what would you say is your coaching style? I know you press, you want speed, you want skill, you want scoring, you want the offensive minded thing. But even off the ice, sort of the leadership capabilities that, some coaches have, some coaches don't have. What's your mentality there?
To be honest with you, it's kind of simple. I want to create an environment where everybody can have a positive impact on anyone that's involved with our team, to be honest. Whether that's my impact on our guys in a positive way, whether that's, someone like yourself or even Alyssa, our athletic trainer, impacting the guys in a positive way when they interact every day, or it's a fan that comes to the rink and interacts with our players, or maybe it's our players going to talk at a local high school or a elementary school, reading to kids. Like anything that we do, I think that we should all impact each other in a positive way on a daily basis if we can. And if we do that, I think that number one, we're gonna have a great experience while we're all here, not just our players. You and I included in that, Cody, as staff members. That's the number one thing. Number two, I think that through that you're going to have success, because you're going to have people that are hungry to come to the rink every day, and they're going to have fun coming to the rink, and they're going to love coming to work, and the boys are going to love coming here and being around here. And I think that helps you win hockey games. And then most importantly, I think that people grow that way. At the end of the day, we're here to win hockey games 100%. But you also got to be getting better as a person, and you need to develop as a person, whether you're a 17-year-old on our team or whether you're 35 like myself. We all need to grow. We all need to develop while we're here. And I think the way we do that is through impacting each other in a positive way on a daily basis. And that's one of my biggest goals, is just, off the ice, is to create an environment where it's like that. And where, the boys are excited to come to the rink every day, and when they leave, they feel great about themselves and they're hungry to come back the next day. That's the environment that personally I would love to create here. And, again, not only for us and our players, but for everybody involved with our team, everybody that steps through our doors here at Bob Suiter's Capital Ice Arena. I want them to have a positive impact. And I want them to feel like they've been impacted in a positive way, and feeling great about themselves when they leave, and excited to come back someday.
And you can tell, I mean, you've already brought that energy. A lot of the guys that you talk to, I've chatted with them, and I said, what's your conversation with the new coaching staff like? And they're ecstatic. They can't wait for the season to begin. And it's something I think that we're starting to get a little bit of buzz in the area as well. But you can see you've even made changes in the locker room. Between last year and this year, we've gotten some new words, some new catchphrases up, and the one that sort of sticks out to me and to me is a good mentality that I see from you. Is the one on the door that we put that said the world treats winners a lot better than it treats losers. And the point of that one, at least to me, is we're not talking on the ice. Win or lose, as long as you went out there and you tried and you did your best, honestly, it was the best, as long as you developed. And to me, that one was more off the ice. If you are pouting and if you're bad and if you don't care about the team, you're essentially a loser at that point, where the world isn't going to treat you nicely. But if you come in, you do the work and you're good to people and you're a winner, the world's going to be good. And so to me, that's the epitome of what I've learned from you in the past 3 months alone.
No, I appreciate that. And yeah, you nailed it on the head. That's one of my favorite quotes. I got that quote from Augie Garrido, the old University of Texas Longhorns baseball coach. And it's true. The world treats winners way different than it treats losers. I'm sorry, that's just reality, right? Like, and for me, yeah, do we have to win hockey games on the ice? 100%. That's our goal every single day. That's our focus. That's what we're going to talk about. But you do that by acting like a winner. You know what I mean? You do that by practicing like a winner, by living like a winner. All these little things, you have to win, you know, and again, in turn, you know, trying to develop people and develop young men here and make better people when they leave here. There's going to come a time in your life where you have to win as a husband. You have to win as a father. You have to win at your job every day. It's not just hockey. Yeah. Do we have to win at hockey? Yeah. But pretty soon in their young lives, they're going to have to win at a lot of different areas that are probably way more important than hockey. So why not get used to that mentality now? Why not start talking about that now? You know, and again, it's not just winning hockey games on the scoreboard. It's acting like a winner. It's talking like a winner, dressing like a winner, the way you speak with other people, speak like a winner. And that's why I love that quote so much. I just feel like people don't talk about winning enough. Personally, that's just my opinion. I'm sorry, you know. And yeah, I'm not saying that the process and all that stuff isn't as important, but especially I think kids this age group need to talk about winning, and they need to hear winning, and they need to hear that the expectation is winning. Because if you don't win it, it's not good enough. Plain and simple. If you don't win every day as a husband, it's not going to be good enough. If you don't win every day as a dad, it's not going to be good enough. Or in your job as an employee one day, you need to win every single day. And so that's part of that mentality that I would like to instill here. And I'm happy to hear that you've noticed some of that past just the quote on the door. So.
And that's, I was thinking about that as you were talking, just as I was preparing for this. People that are listening, the stuff that Tom is saying, you know, a lot of coaches will come out and they have the cliches and they just say these things, you know, to be good. This is Tom. Like there is no BS here. It's literally, we're getting emails multiple times a week from him thanking us for stuff and being part of the staff. And, you know, even if it's just a simple communication, we ordered Tom something for his laptop, and, you know, it was thank yous galore, and he made sure communication was there. So I do just want to say that this isn't just, you know, blowing smoke or anything. This is actually who he is. And you know, it's a good mentality to have. And you know, again, he's community based, so he wants to be here for you guys the same way he's here for us, the same way he's here for the guys on the ice. He's here for the community. So I do just want to sort of interject with that as well.
Thank you. No, I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you appreciate that stuff. No, it's you got to live it, right? You can't. I'm going to tell the guys this when they get here. These you can put as many words or as many phrases on a locker room wall or on, you know, t-shirts, shorts, whatever you could do that. But if you don't talk about these things on a regular basis, you don't live it, then it's going to go nowhere, right? You know, you and I know that, and people that have been around sports teams especially know that. That can't just be a quote on the door, you know. It's got to be something that we talk about often, something that we live and we expect often. And I appreciate you saying that, because that's the whole thing behind it. You know, for me, that's the key. It's not, you could put anything on that door. If you don't believe in it, and if you don't believe what the door or the wall says, or the saying or the phrase, if you don't believe it, if you don't live it, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you can put anything on there. As long as you believe in it and you live it and you preach it and you practice what you preach, then it becomes real. So appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. And again, the same way that we sort of gravitate towards you and that leadership, I'm sure the guys will do the same once they get here. And so let's shift focus a little bit sort of to the guys. So you came in, I think it was probably mid-April, end of April, somewhere in there, and then you had the draft essentially right after. You know, you were only here for a couple of weeks. So after your first draft as a head coach, both on the future side and the phase two side. What'd you think of it? And then we'll sort of lead into camp from there.
You know what? It made me very uncomfortable, to be honest with you. In my experience in this league as an assistant coach in the past, the draft was a very vital focus of my job with being an assistant coach, and helping create those lists and helping go see players live all year long. So to be unprepared makes me feel very uncomfortable, and obviously getting hired 2 weeks before the draft and trying to do 8 months of work in a 2-week period made me uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie to you. But the positive thing is, through 10 years of coaching now, I've got some tremendous people around me and tremendous people that I've got great relationships with that are great friends and great hockey people. And a lot of people helped prepare for that draft. I'll say that. And even people outside of our organization and our league. Obviously, I thought both drafts turned out very well. I was very happy with both of them. I was very happy with the phase 1 draft. And I was very happy with the phase 2 draft in regards to filling some of the holes and some of the voids that we needed to fill immediately for next year. But it was a lot of work, which is fine. That's, what do? You get hired to not work. You know what I mean? You get this new job, you expect to work, right? So, but it made me very uncomfortable because I wasn't as prepared as I typically would like to be, as far as my viewings of players and some of my communication and things like that. But again, you kind of got to wing it sometimes and make it work. And I thought it worked out really well, to be honest. I thought our futures draft was very nice. I'm very excited about a lot of the guys we have. Obviously Quinn Finley is going to be on our team this year. He was our first pick overall, so that couldn't have worked out better. Very excited about Quinn and the rest of the guys that are going to remain on our affiliate list from the 04 group. And then obviously going to phase 2, Owen Gallatin. I expect Owen to be one of the best D in this league this year, along with Cade Penny. And those were our first 2 guys that we picked. And then obviously, we took Danny D there later on, and Timmy Kokochev, and those are guys that are going to have immediate impact here and going to be top guys for us. And some of the trades that we made also in that 2-week span, I think was enormous. Trading for Asa Kinnear, who is going to be a 3rd-year veteran for us. He's played on an Anderson Cup team. He's a tremendous teammate and leader and a hell of a hockey player. He's going to help us immensely right away. And then obviously the one trade we made for Nick Wallace and Casey Severo, both those guys have high expectations from me and our staff going into next year. And, they're both going to have an immediate impact right away on our team. And I thought they were both great at camp and very excited for them to be with us. So, in that 2-week span, yeah, was it crazy? And was it a lot of work? Yeah. But I actually thought it turned out as good as it possibly could have. To be honest, I was very happy with it.
And those new guys, like you said, you weren't building a new team. You were sort of filling the voids that you needed. And with Gallatin and with Cade Penny, you sort of found, your 2 of your top defensemen, and there were even other guys that are on our list that could fill into that role if you need to.
Yeah.
You sort of came in with a good product that just needs some polishing. So, I mean, if you look at the team, you're hoping Owen Gallatin's going to be one of the top defensemen in the league. Ryan Kerwin, super high expectations for him after an outstanding rookie season. And then Christian Stover in net. I mean, one of the probably top 3 goaltenders in my opinion last season, probably the USHL's opinion. He's going to come in now as a 4-year junior hockey veteran, 3-year USHL veteran. And essentially the world is his at this point.
Yeah. Those 2 guys were, when I first got the job, obviously I looked at our roster and I was okay. Well, we have one of the best goalies in the league coming back, and we have one of the best forwards in the league coming back. So that's not a bad start. That was my mentality. And then obviously I wanted to shore up our back end a little bit more and put some pieces around Kerwin up front. So I thought we did that with the draft, with Gallatin and Penny and with Danny D up front, and then, we'll see how these guys come together throughout the year. But yeah, I'm with you. I think, Christian Stover, we're very fortunate to have someone with Christian's capabilities and his experience coming back for another year. And he will be leaned upon quite a bit to not only perform for us on the ice, but he's going to have to be a leader off the ice, something I've already talked to him about. So when he watches this, that won't be a secret to him. He's going to have to pull from his experiences as a hockey player and as a person through his journey to help guys on our team and to help our team and help younger players on our team. And, same with Ryan. I've told both those guys, hey, listen, you guys are going to have to be leaders in some way or fashion. That doesn't mean you're going to have a letter on your jersey. You might not. But at the end of the day, if you're a quote unquote top performer for a team, you have to be a leader in some way. Because when you're a top player, guys are going to look at you and how you go about your business and how you live your life and how you respond to criticism and coaching and all that stuff. So we've communicated a lot about that, me and those two boys, and I'm very excited about both of them. I think they're going to have absolutely tremendous years. They're going to help carry this team, help create our winning culture, and then they're going to continue on and have great college careers and I think some pro hockey after that. I think both of them will have a tremendous impact this year. But yeah, when I got hired and I looked and I saw both those guys were coming back, not a bad start, So, and then, our affiliate list, I thought we had a very healthy affiliate list as well before I got here. Luke Middlestead is one of the best defensemen in his age group. I coached Luke Middlestead at the Select Festival in Buffalo a couple years ago. So I got to cross paths with him and got to be around him a bit as a person and obviously as a player. And, when I got hired, I had a great conversation with him. And, like I said, he's a top player in his age group. So we're very lucky to have him on our affiliate list and have him with us next year. He's going to play before and after his high school season with us. So we're very excited about that, as well as somebody like Kyle Kukkonen as well, who's an O2 out of Minnesota, one of the top players out of the state of Minnesota. And Kyle's going to play before and after with us as well. And Kyle's a guy who I was familiar with a little bit, not that I recruited him or anything, but, I'd seen some elite league games in the past. And, I'm close with the staff at Michigan Tech where he's committed. So they told me about him. And, again, when I got hired and saw that he was on our affiliate list, I was like, all right, perfect. We can, this is a very good start right here. And Kyle's another guy along with Luke that's going to play before and after for us this coming season, before their high school season and after their high school season. So excited to have both of them. So yeah, there were some very nice pieces in place when I got here that I can't take any credit for. And whoever was here before, the staff before, did a great job of identifying those guys and having those guys on our affiliate list and having a couple of those guys on our roster. And hopefully next year we can help our organization take a step in the right direction. And all those guys will be leaned upon to help in those areas.
And so you mentioned that you've seen Kyle a little bit, but and Luke, obviously you coach him, but there are a lot of guys that you haven't seen, and even guys that were on our team last year that you may not have seen. Being an assistant at Mercyhurst, obviously you did a little bit of the scouting. You looked at the guys that were coming in, but I'm sure that there, with so many people out there weren't enough. And so going into the draft, I bet it was very tough for you to identify guys that other people were saying, other teams were saying, other coaches were saying that you should draft or should look at. And then even, heading into camp, and obviously it was a very strange camp. We couldn't run it the way we wanted to. It was, small glimpse of guys. It was sort of, take the small portion and expand it and see if you can find the potential more than you can the skill right then and there. But there are a lot of guys that you haven't been able to see. So, how has that adjustment been for you as well now as a head coach?
Yeah, you know what? It's the adjustment's been fine. It hasn't been ideal, obviously. I was thrilled that we could have camp, even a little sneak peek of camp for me to be able to see guys with my own eyes was enormous. And for me to be around guys a little bit and see what they do and what they're going to bring to our team. That was huge. But no, it's been a little bit unique. It's a heck of a time to get a brand new job and become a head coach in this league for the first time with all the changes going on this summer and the delays and things like that. So that's very unique. But at the end of the day, the one thing I've been fortunate with in my 10 years of coaching is just to have some great friends and great people in this hockey world around me and people that I really trust. And so, especially early on in my time here with the Capitals, I really leaned on some of those people that I trusted to give me, honest opinions on players as people and as players. And and things like that. So it's been a unique process, that's for sure. It has been ideal. I'm obviously looking forward to everything getting back to normal, so we can just get with the team and get going. That's for sure.
One of the points you mentioned a little while ago, you're going to lean on Stover off the ice as well as on the ice, and looking more so on the ice. The last couple of years, it seems that the Caps have sort of ran with one goalie. It was, Dryden McKay for a couple seasons. It was Joey Lamoureux. Then it was Simon until he got injured, and then it was Stover. Something that I think that you have a little bit of good fortune with now is, at least again from the glimpse that we saw, you're going to have a couple of good backups there. You're going to have a couple of good, instead of 1 and 2, you have, that 1A and 1B that you're going to have. Again, we saw very briefly from some of the guys that we drafted this year, Marino, Ramirez, and Gustav Byland. And Byland at about 8'4", he's one of the tallest kids I've seen play in a little while. And then Marino just so agile and in good position. And, it might take a little bit of the pressure off Stover as well. How are you able to find those guys?
You know what? They both just got recommended to me, and I saw some brief video on them and liked what I saw, and that was it. We decided to draft both those guys. But yeah, 100%. Those guys, and I wouldn't use the word backup with both those guys. I think the nice thing is, we've got 3 guys that could play in this league right now. And whether it's this year or in the future, like 3 guys that have some room to develop and hopefully be top performers in this league, obviously. Especially with, Ramirez being the 03 and Byland being an 02. But all 3 of those guys have tremendous ability. They've got high character. They've got high compete. Now, yeah, does Christian have more experience? Yeah. But at the end of the day, the thing I like about Gus and Ramirez is they could easily, push Christian very hard all year. And that's what I would like. Not only is it going to make Christian better, it's going to make them better. It's going to make our team better. So, those guys and Christian knows this, and a lot of people know this. You don't want to ever get too comfortable, right? You want to believe in yourself. You want to believe in what you're going to do to impact the team, but you can't get comfortable and complacent. So having 2 younger guys with Christian in net to make him better, and then also vice versa, the leadership side of it, people that he can help impact in a positive way, and he can lead and teach a little bit. I think it's a tremendous situation for all 3 of those guys. I'm excited to have all 3 of them. And to be honest, Corey and I believe in all 3 of them. Either of those guys, any of those 3 could start for us on any given night and give us a chance to win hockey games. And that's what it comes down to in that position. So we're very excited about all 3 of them.
And you actually just touched on sort of something that popped up. Corey, he's the assistant coach. He came in obviously after you. He was your hire, your decision, a guy that you've gotten to know now over the last couple months. Take us through that process. Were there a lot of people you were looking at, or was it essentially a short few? And what'd you see in Corey that you wanted to bring him along and thought he would mesh well with you?
You know what? Yeah, there was a handful of guys that I had on a list that I wanted to pursue a little bit, I guess would be the word. And obviously Corey ended up being the guy out of that short list. But Corey and I had a professional relationship before this. That was it. It's not like we didn't go to school together. We didn't play together. It's not like we've hung out or anything like that before. It was strictly professional. And when I'd been around him professionally in the past, I loved his professionalism, and I loved how he evaluated players and the way he spoke about his players, and some of his philosophies I really liked. And, when I was in Division I hockey, going to see his teams in Janesville play, they were always prepared, and they always played hard, and they always seemed like they were coached very well. So I always noticed that. And the other thing is his teams in Janesville, they always had younger guys that ended up moving on to the USHL and doing pretty well. So that was a very important thing as well, piece for me, because obviously our job here is to win hockey games, but it's also to develop these guys, make sure they're ready for the next level. That's something that Corey had a little bit of a history doing. And through our conversations after I got hired, I more and more was like, I think this Corey is going to be the guy. And we continued to speak and things like that, and it worked out really well. And now he's becoming one of my best friends. We're obviously establishing a great friendship, being together every day and around here. And that was an important piece. I wanted someone that that I had a professional relationship with before, but I could become very good friends with. And that's exactly how it's been with Corey. He's been awesome to be around as a person. He works extremely hard as a coach, and he's a hell of a hockey coach. So he's going to do a great job for us this year.
You talked about your personal relationship with him and how he's becoming not only a coworker but a friend. So let's stay on that personal note. You know, you have a family. You're
Yep.
here in Madison. You moved to the area with your wife and your son. So, you know, talk about them. It's your time. Brag about your family.
Oh, geez, yeah. Well, my wife's got a way better hockey playing career than I do. I'll say that. That's always a running joke with a lot of my friends. So yeah, my wife Sarah, she's from northern Minnesota, Roseau, Minnesota, right on the Canadian border. She's from up there. She played college hockey for the Gophers at Minnesota, and then she spent some time on the women's USA national team and all that. So she's got a hell of a playing background, a lot better than my Division III / Southern Pro League playing background. I'll say that. And she actually got into coaching as well right away when we got engaged. She when she was done playing for the national team, she coached as a head coach for the women's team at Concordia Moorhead D3 school, right in the Fargo Moorhead area. So she coached there, and then obviously when we got married and we found out we were pregnant with our son, you know, she took a little bit of a step back from the coaching career and she focused more on, you know, being a mom. And you know, she continued to coach at the youth levels with different girls teams and all that stuff. And you know, so that's Sarah in a nutshell. She's a tremendous woman. She's a tremendous hockey person. She's an incredible mom and wife, and I love her to death, obviously. So, and then our son Briggs, he's great. He's awesome. He's 5. He just started kindergarten today for the first time. So we rode our bikes to school, and he did the whole deal. So that was kind of fun to see. And you know, he's obviously funny because it's crazy, right? Kids are like combinations of you and your wife. So they are, right? Because that's who made him. And it's just funny, some of the stuff to see that he does that reminds me of Sarah, and some of the stuff that he does that reminds Sarah of me. And I'm sure a lot of the annoying things that he does remind Sarah of me. But no, he's an incredible little guy. We obviously love him to death. He's really funny. Go figure. We're kind of a funnier family behind closed doors. So he's a pretty funny little guy with some of the stuff that he does and says. So, but no, they're awesome. You know, obviously they're the most important piece in my life, the two of them. You know, if I didn't coach, it wouldn't matter as long as those two were with me. And, you know, the fact that I can coach is because of those two. They sacrifice a lot for me to, you know, live my dream of coaching. And, you know, you ask any hockey wife or coach's wife, and it's not easy because the hours are so different. You know, it's not like it's a 9-to-5 job or Monday through Friday. It's very sporadic, and there's times when I don't see them for periods of time, or, you know, times when I get home extremely late or leave extremely early. And, you know, if it wasn't for those two, I wouldn't be able to do what I do every day. And I'm very lucky to have both of them. So.
Now, as far as let's go with your coaching days. So you again, a couple different leagues, a couple different stadiums. What was the best USHL arena that you've been to? Like, do the best, and then you think the hardest to coach in, or the hardest for you guys to get ready, and then same thing for college after.
Ooh. Well, the best USHL arena is obviously Bob Suter's Cap Ice. So let's call a spade here. That's the best arena in this league. But if you want to go non-Cap Ice, you want to go the second best arena. You know what? I would say Fargo. I hate to do it.
Got a nice one.
Yeah, no, it's just, you know what? Personally, again, my wife's from northern Minnesota. We have a lot of ties up in that area, and, you know, a couple hours away from Fargo where she's from. So it's always been a cool place to have family come down, or people that we know come down. You know, one of my best friends is from East Grand Forks, which is just north of Fargo. So he's come to a game when I've coached there in the past. And it's a nice arena. And obviously, you know, they do a great job with their crowds, and they always have good teams in Fargo. So that's always a fun place to coach. And the coach's room is just behind the benches. So you just walk right out to the bench. So I love that. I hate walking on ice and having to shuffle in my in my dress shoes on ice. It makes me really nervous. So anytime I can go right from the coach's room right onto the bench, absolutely love it. So besides our rink, I would say Fargo is probably my second favorite rink in our league. The hardest rink to play at in our league.
Just the best atmosphere. It takes guys a little while to get going, or honestly, it could be because of the atmosphere, guys get going even quicker.
You know what? Probably Des Moines. I would say in my experience. I think just it's such a unique arena because it's a little bit older. And I don't say that in a negative way. I just mean it's a little bit older and not as flashy, obviously, as some of the newer rinks around our league. And it's got a great history there. But obviously, when you're the visiting team, um, you're put in areas to get ready, and you got to come out to the ice with the guys, and you're walking through the fans. And I remember I stepped out of the office one time when we were there, and they might have moved it or changed where we were at that time.
Over in the corner down below.
Yeah, it was like in the corner by the concessions. I remember I walked
right
out.
there.
There was a guy eating a hot dog right there, and he told me, whatever. Like so Des Moines is probably a tough rink because again they've got a great history and a great tradition there from the years, and that's a really cool old barn, and kind of tailors to the old, hey, the visiting team, it's going to be a hard place for them to play. So that was a tough place to play. I always thought as a coach for our teams that I've been around. And then in college, favorite place that I got to actually coach at, on the bench, probably one of my favorite memories from coaching Division I the past couple of years is we played at Penn State. That really cool atmosphere. Really cool atmosphere. That was one of the first times in my coaching career that the hairs on the back of my neck stood up when I got on the bench, like when I was playing. Obviously they do a great job with their program, and they got the band, and they got the signs and the student section, and they got the lights going on, and it's a packed house. It's a beautiful arena. That was probably that was one of my best memories from college hockey. And probably the hardest rink to play at was the old Bentley rink, I would say. It was called the Jar. That was the hardest rink to play at. They now have a beautiful brand new arena at Bentley. I'll say that, but this is their old arena, older rink, cold as can be. Just kind of a town rink, and that was a hard place to play. And I'll say that for the guys, that's for sure.
So last sort of question here, I guess. We want admission from you. So the best way that I've heard this put is, it could be something that sort of the masses like that you don't like, or something that you sort of oppose or disagree with. So for me, if I were to go, I am not a huge fan of avocados, and I know that's sort of the biggest thing. Avocados, guacamole, can't seem to figure it out. So what's the Tom Upton confession?
What do I not like?
What do you not like that everybody likes, or what do you sort of that everybody is going one way and you're going the other? Guilty pleasure even.
There's a lot. I'm not gonna lie to you. There's a lot of stuff that are my pet peeves. I'll say that. Okay. So food wise, Fig Newtons. Can't do them. Yeah, I don't know why. It's literally the only thing that I don't like. I love all types of food. I'll pretty much eat anything, but Fig Newtons for some reason won't do it. I don't know why.
Texture or taste?
What's that? Just the taste. I don't know. Yeah, it's weird. Like I eat sushi. I eat steak. Like
Have you had figs before?
Like what's that?
Have you had a fig before? Like not in a Fig Newton?
Yeah, and figs are fine, and I like Newtons too. I just don't like them together, I guess. So yeah, Fig Newtons. Ever since I was a kid, never liked them. I don't know what it is. Really, really random and weird though. Trying to think.
We can save a couple more too. I know we're gonna have some cap chats over the coming months and coming weeks, and we can do this every week. We can figure something out and see what new things about Tom that we don't know.
We can do that. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well, we learned some new things about Tom today, and as I mentioned, we'll have some cap chats here coming up in the future and throughout the course of the season, and we're going to try and make sort of a coach's corner. Wow. Sort of a weekly occurrence. So, for everybody out there watching, keep tuning in week by week. You'll learn a little bit more about the coaching staff. Keep in touch with what's going on in Caps hockey. And aside from that, Tommy, thanks for hopping on and thanks for chatting with me today.
Yep. Thank you, Cody. Take it easy.
All right, you too.